buyers or for sale by owners from anyone on the call? Oh, awesome. Well, this is going to be a fun conversation because I'm going to be sharing some stuff with you guys that you really haven't been doing. So before we get going with some of the strategies I'm going to talk about today, one of my favorite sources for what's going on in the market is the Sacramento Appraisal blog by Ryan Lundquist. This is a very good resource to be educating your sellers and your buyers on what's going on. And as you look at this, our February increase from year over year, it's up over 17%. That's insane, you guys. That type of appreciation, like that is crazy, right? What other stats on here are you seeing that are a little bit staggering? What to you jumps out?
Average price.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We all got a raise just by the appreciation going on in the market. Right? So that price point's going up. What else?
The months of supply has gone down 56%.
Yes.
That's huge. That's our inventory.
Right? That's why we're feeling this crunch. I mean, last year, look what we had in 2020. And, you know, guys, 2020, come on, that we had a lot going on in 2020 that we were not prepared for and that was very unique. So inventory last year to this year, less than a month. So I think it's perfect timing to be looking at and flipping our mindset around to how do we approach not these buyers, but how do we go get listings? Because if you have a buyer and you're not being proactive about going out and finding them a home, that's going to be challenging, more challenging to get them into a house as we continue to go through this market. So I want you to start looking at, and also that's going to help you stand out above other agents in the market. I'm not like every other agent. I'm going to actively go out into the neighborhoods that you want to live in. I'm going to call, I'm going to tap into my network. I'm going to turn over every rock and stone because that's what it takes in this market to find a buyer house in the neighborhood they want to live in for the price points that they want to pay. Right? So start to flip your mindset and think about it from the listing approach. And I've had a few more people jump on here. Brenda, welcome to the call. Hello, Christina. I love participation, so please turn your videos on and feel free to chime in with any questions. Welcome, Nick. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we are going to jump over into MLS. So before a few of you guys hopped on here, we were talking about sources of seller leads. And two of the most common sources, expired and for sale by owners, no one on this call targets. So that's one, those are two areas that we can go on in a future class on how to find those types of listings. But I wanted to show you guys a super secret strategy that I used when finding investor deals. You guys want to know about it?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when you first log in, and I know I have a few people on here and I just saw someone hop on from Chico. So your guys' MLS may be a little bit different than what we have here. So for our Sacramento area, what's really cool about our MLS, and sorry guys, I have allergies and my voice is going in and out. So when we first log in our MLS, I'm going to take you back to the beginning. Go to searches, interactive map. Okay. We're going to talk about a source of inventory that is the foreclosure market. And yes, I know right now there's a moratorium on foreclosures. That just means that everything is on pause. Okay. We're going to target some people that were in trouble before the pandemic hit and most likely are still in trouble. When you come to the map, click on the layers. And jump over here into the foreclosure tab. Everyone follow me so far?
Yes.
Great.
How did you
As
get
I-
to the map? Where'd you
Awesome.
get to the map? Sorry.
That's okay. Searches from the very top, searches, and then interactive map.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Then we're going to click on the foreclosure tab that will open up this, and we're going to just select all of these boxes. So there are, in this area of the map, as I check that, there's 0 defaults for the last 30 days. But look what starts to happen as I go further back in time. The little pop-ups of these exclamation marks, these are all people that are in default. Notice of default is the very first step in foreclosure. So they've gone down at least 3 months in their mortgage and the bank has said, hey, you need to pay us. We're putting you on notice that you're in default and you haven't paid your mortgage on time. We need to figure this out. And they're going to send you a nice love letter in the mail and post it on your door. It's called a notice of default. See, as they start to pop up, there's quite a few right here. And then the last one is called notice of trustee sale. That's the last step in the foreclosure process. And those come up in red little hammers.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on the Zoom, but I'm on mute, so I'm good.
You're not on mute, Lori.
Mute. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. All right. So as these start to pop up, you can click on them. And if there was a trustee sale going on, this one has the date of April 8th, 2021. That's going to keep getting postponed out until foreclosures come back and they start releasing more inventory. But it tells you what courthouse it's going to be at. And this is the actual sale. Any questions on the difference of notice of default to notice of trustee sale? Did you guys know these were here? No? Good. I'm teaching you something. Awesome.
Yes, I did.
Oh, good, good.
Not at
Have you
all.
guys- Okay.
I was in one of your coaching meeting last year, so that's how I found out.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is a refresher from something I showed you before.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so then what you can do is say, this pulls up for my area, but if you're in Elk Grove or you're in Roseville or you're any other city, you can actually center on an address. I can go Roseville, California. It's going to take me to a different part of the map. And I can pull it around. And I can check. And I can find this one's been in default since last November. Here's the trustor, beneficiary. I get asked all the time, should I contact the bank? No. It's very challenging to get in touch with these banks and these beneficiaries. So contact the seller themselves. The homeowner is still in control of this asset until it is sold at the courthouse steps. So I like to have a conversation with the sellers on selling their home. What's the plan? Right? Something's gonna have to give at one point or another. This is not just gonna stay this way. Any questions on how I found these properties? Because I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and go back into a conversation with you guys. No? Cool. So we go to interactive search. You guys can find the areas. You can scroll around the map. You can click on the property to get the property address. Print the property profile is what I used to do. I'm a very hands-on paper person, so I like to print that out. And as I'm calling that homeowner, that gives me somewhere to make notes and write down the information I'm finding out when I talk to them. Okay. While I'm here, I'm just going to show you guys one thing on the layers. There's other info on this layer sheet under the MLS. No, whoops, sorry, not that one. You can find your expireds on here too. Expired listings. So then at the same time, you can pop up those expireds, all those red dots. Look at that, you guys. These are all people at one point that wanted to sell. Now, some of them may have already sold. That's going to be up to you to do the research and the scrubbing of the list and see, did they actually indeed sell? And I've done this and found some of them do sell. A lot of them don't, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. What are you learning? What are you hearing? I know it's early in the morning, but talk to me, guys.
Sure. When you're contacting sellers, what's the best resource to find and locate those neighbors?
Awesome question, Wendy. So I like Spokio. It's about $30 a month. I find the information to be very accurate. That's if I want to, look them up one by one. RedX. You can actually buy the notice of default pre-foreclosure leads from RedX. They're the only dialer service I know that provides that data. If you wanted to, you could look them all up on freepeoplesearch.com. Love that. Riches in the niches. That's right, Nick. So Spokio is an inexpensive service. Freepeoplesearch.com is a free service, just time intensive. And then the best resource, if this is something you're really going to attack and have this be a lead gen lever for you, is to have those lists just scrubbed and put in your email every morning, is going to be RedX. You're welcome. And so when I'm calling those sellers, or I'm door knocking, or I'm reaching out to them, I don't in the beginning say, hey, I know your notice of default. Have you thought about selling? I don't do that. I call them and I say, hey, I was just reaching out. I wanted to talk to you. I'm a local real estate agent. I was curious if you've thought about selling your house. Just like you're going to approach any other seller. When they say no to that question, they say, no, we're not selling. I say, oh, okay. Well, I was doing a little bit of research and I noticed there was a notice of default filed against your property. Were you aware of that? Guys, sometimes they're not aware. Sometimes the husband pays all the bills and the wife doesn't know, or vice versa, or sometimes it's a mistake. And so you can really come from service here and help them out. Say, okay, well, if you weren't aware, we need to do some research right away because we are showing this was filed. Then you can step in to help and find out if it really is accurate or not. Most of the time it's accurate. And so then you can move into conversation about what are their plans. Right now, they have a very unique opportunity with the pandemic relief and the forbearances. A lot of people haven't paid a mortgage payment in almost a year. That forbearance, if they were in foreclosure before and now they've been in, you know, like on pause for a year, maybe they've been saving money. Maybe because our market is insanely crazy, the value of their home has gone up 17, 18%, and they now have a lot more equity. These are the conversations we need to be having with these people so that we can start to get them to figure out their plan. And if it is to sell, then you guys are in that driver's seat to help them and to get us inventory. What do you think?
Nobody speaking, I think it's a great idea. My question to you is, okay, obviously we cannot knock at the doors right now because of the situation with the pandemic. However, yes, we can find their number and call them, which a lot of agents are doing. How about email? I mean, do you recommend an email?
Yeah, great question, Tony. And so actually on the door knocking part, if you're socially distanced and you're, you know, you can actually go door knock now. At least in Sac County, we've gotten to a place that we can go into restaurants and eat. Door knocking should be okay.
I certainly hope so.
Yes. So that is going to start to also give us some more freedom to go out and interact with these people. But that Free People Search and Spokio, they give emails as well. And so I definitely say reach them on all fronts. Another good source to reach them on, Tony, is Facebook.
Correct. Yeah, there I agree.
A lot of them are on Facebook. And so then I would send them a private message. I would say, hey, Tony, I know this might be catching you out of the blue, but I've been working to reach you and I'm a real estate agent and I wanted to talk to you about selling your house. Send them a message on Facebook through private messenger.
Great, thank you.
You're very welcome. Biggest rejection to them not being able to find the replacement home. Great objection, Sai. Yes, so that is something they are going to have to consider because if they've been in foreclosure, their credit most likely is going to be hammered, right? So these guys are not going to be going out and buying a home right away. So you're not really going to be having the objection of there's nothing to buy unless they've got a lot of cash that's coming from that sale. Maybe they have a family member that is going to buy for them, a parent that is going to help them get back on their feet. You know, so that's part of the conversation. While we're rebuilding your credit, these are all also future buyers. It's going to take them a few years to rebuild that and get back on their feet. But that is something that you can talk to them about. And then I would partner with a property manager and start to make sure that you know about all of the rental inventory that they can go rent. Does that give you some direction on that side?
Absolutely.
Very good. All right. What other questions do you guys have for me?
It's a quiet group today.
It is. Not used to being quiet with these guys. You guys are usually very talkative.
Are there any set scripts out there for these types of phone calls? I'm sure there are.
Yes. Yeah, there are. what I'll do is I'll send, there's a YouTube video that walks through, there's two different strategies. There's a gal that she's just very direct and you'll hear it in her script. So I'll send two different samples. But like I said, my favorite approach with just reaching out to people is, you know, I'm a local real estate agent and I was curious, are you thinking of selling your house? If it's yes, great, I'm into the conversation. If it's no, that's when I bring up about them being in foreclosure and what are their plans. Okay,
Thanks.
you're very welcome.
How do you
Okay.
handle it if you're leaving a message? Nobody answers.
Yeah, good. On the first time, I'm not gonna leave a voicemail. I'm just gonna hang up if they don't pick up. The second time I call back, I'm gonna leave a voicemail saying, hey, I've been looking to reach you. Sandra, my name's Amber. I'm a local real estate agent. I have a question about your house. Give me a call back real quick. I might even leave off that I'm a real estate agent. Hey, my name's Amber. I have a quick question about your house. Give me a call back when you get a sec. The quick question when they call me back is, I wanted to just reach out and see if you're looking to sell. I'm not sure if you're aware that there is no inventory in our market, and I have several buyers that are desperate to buy. And so I promised them that I'd start reaching out and seeing if there's anyone looking to sell in the neighborhood they wanted to live in.
Very similar then to going around a sold listing or.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no real, like, there's the common scripts, and then it's just figuring out that different approach of how to get your in. But there's not any real new conversation. What are your tips on how to sell a home in foreclosure? So Erica, the same thing applies. It's a regular listing up until like, right, you need to disclose depending on where the sale date is. Like if it's gonna be fast, we need to let potential buyers know we have to move quick. But with the seller, that conversation is, okay, if you're in foreclosure and you're wanting to sell, right now we don't have those foreclosure dates, so there's not that pressure. Back in the day when I was doing this, we would have to make sure that we were looking at if the sale date is 30 days from now, well, we got to hustle, right? And I'm calling the bank and I'm letting them know that we're going on the market and I'm going to be getting you an offer and I need you to postpone the sale date. I get a third party authorization to talk to the bank on the client's behalf. And if you get into this type of listings and this type of lead generation strategy, and you want to talk about hiring me as a coach to specifically work on this, we definitely can do that. Because there's a lot of details on this type of strategy once you actually get into it. Regarding the notice of sale, if you take the listing and it sells at the courthouse steps during the listing period, do you have entitled? No. So if you have a listing that was going to sell at the courthouse steps, that's going to end that, and that REO is going to go to the agent that the bank has a relationship with, and that's probably not going to come out right away. That inventory gets held back. So that's what they call shadow inventory. It's like no rhyme or reason to how it gets released into the market. I wish. All right. So I just really wanted to be able to get everyone together and talk about, you know, the different strategies out there, get you guys focused, because what we focus on expands. And I want everyone out there taking listings because we need them so badly.
Amber, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can.
Sorry, I showed up late, so I apologize for that. And I'm driving. So my question though is, did you say like people that are about to go into forbearance, is there like a list or how can we find them?
Yeah, great question. So the forbearance part, no. Forbearance is not public information. There's no ding to your credit. There's nothing on file other than with the mortgage company that the client is in forbearance. So the only way you're gonna know they're in forbearance, which the forbearance is just the pause, right? It's a pause that happened because of the pandemic.
Right.
The forbearance is gonna need to be reworked out on what they're gonna do when it starts, when they start paying payments, and some of them might not be able to catch up. I'm seeing people that are 35,000 or more in arrears. So the only way you're gonna know they're in forbearance, April, is by calling them and just saying, hey, I wanted to check in, see how everything's going with you in our market right now. These are the things that we're seeing, and I'm wanting to reach out to my clients and just see if you have any questions on the forbearance or what's going on around that, the pandemic relief.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I did record this workshop, so Tony, I can send it to you. And that way you guys can go back and see how I pulled it up on MLS. And then the next one I'm going to do is going to be around expireds and for sale by owners. Would that be of value to you guys? Yeah?
I believe so.
Okay, awesome. So I'll put something together and get that on the calendar, and we'll talk about how to approach expireds, how to find those types, and then what type of questions to ask them. On the foreclosure strategy, is there any questions that I did not answer that you were hoping I would? All right. Next time I'm gonna do this one live so we can get some little more interaction. I would love to see you guys all in person. But it was great to get you guys all together on Zoom. If you're on your own after this and can't figure it out, or the MLS search, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to help guide you guys in any direction I can. And I would love to hear 2 ahas before we break.
Perfect. Thank you, Amber.
You're welcome, Tony. It was great to have you on.
A pleasure.
2 ahas, what'd you learn?
Thanks for showing those layers. Had no idea that the defaults were there.
You're welcome, Christina.
Yeah, I think the layers and just the fact that that there are foreclosures out there that are going to be happening.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that was a big one.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys got that. And it was an aha, I'm not doing any of this. Love that for you. Now you guys can start to focus on it and start to implement some strategies that other agents, as you're seeing, are not doing. Because when we hopped on the call, no one mentioned expireds, FSBOs, or foreclosures. So go out there, go talk to sellers, take some listings, bring some inventory to the market. And if I can help at all, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, you guys, go make it a great rest of your Tuesday.
Thanks, Amber.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Amber, one
Bye-bye.
question.
Yes,
One question. Could you, you're obviously going to send an email following up, correct?
I absolutely am.
Could you please mention in there as well the Spokeos, Red X's, and so on?
I will do that.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.